module. It's the longest module of your book, so we will try to finish. And thank you for coming, Ola. Okay, so let's start. The first thing is, how are you feeling? This is the first lesson. Now, what do you have to learn in this lesson is how to make a doctor's appointment. And you will see that, can you see the dialogue, dialogue C? We have here 3 conversations. Conversation C is tells you how to make a doctor's appointment. You're going to say your name first, and then you're going to name the doctor that you want, and then you will use some of the vocabulary that tell you if he is booked up or not, if there is a free time in his schedule or not. So it's very important for you to know how to make a doctor's appointment. Number 2 is talk about medical and other problems. Now, here in conversation C, the doctor asked the patient what was his symptoms. Do you know the meaning of symptoms? What is the meaning of symptoms?
أعراض.
Yes, thank you. So, you should know how to tell the symptoms that you're facing now. For example, if you, I think that you're watching the news now, they will say that the symptoms of coronavirus is da da da, and they will tell you the symptoms that maybe you will have a high fever or whatever. Okay. So it's very important for you to know how to talk about your medical problems or any other problems. Okay, the next thing is to use the phrasal verbs in sentences. Those phrasal verbs from 1 to 5, get over, take away, run out of, hang on, be booked up. Okay, those are a very common phrasal verbs that the people who speaks English, they use it in everyday talk. Okay, so if I asked you, what do you, can you put run out of in a sentence? Can you put run out of in a sentence? It's very easy. Run out of is a phrase that means something that I used to have, but now I don't. So think of anything in your house that you ran out of and then tell me a sentence. Yes, Ula.
I ran out of time.
Yes, say it again, please.
I ran out of time.
Thank you. I ran out of time. I was doing the exam, but I ran out of time, for example. Okay. So, very important for you, ya Ola, not to only learn the words, you have to know how to use them. This is very important thing. If you don't know how to use any word, then they are useless. You just know the meaning of any word, and then you don't know how to use them. Then we have the grammar infinitives. It's a very long grammar, but it's very easy. Now, remember what did we say about the infinitives? We said that there are 2 types, full infinitives and, remember the second type?
Bare infinitive.
Yes, thank you, pair infinitives. So the full infinitives has 6 situations. You're going to use the to plus the verb in the base form if you want to express purposes. If you want to say, why do you do this thing? You're going to use the full infinitive. If I asked you, why do you stay at home? You're going to say what? Why do you stay at home?
To help the world.
To help the world. Thank you. To protect myself. Thank you, Shahad. And number 2 is after certain verbs. Some of the verbs, when you see them, after them, you're going to put to with the verb, full infinitive. Decide, need, want, listen. Again, with the same thing, after certain adjectives, whenever you see them, you're going to put the full infinitives, to plus the verb. Okay? Okay, after to and enough. Of course, after them, you're going to have, when I say after two and enough, or after certain adjectives or verbs, doesn't mean يا أولى immediately. Can someone turn off the mic?
معلمة
Yes.
يوجد نهائي؟
No, I think no.
طب لماذا نراجع؟
For you, يا غدي. Because of course this is not only for, يعني, of course you're going to meet those, you see those words when you go to the next year or the next year. So, okay.
حسنا شكرا.
You're welcome. So when I say after the words, after two and enough, I don't mean that immediately after them. I am too old. I have enough money. So it doesn't mean immediately. It means in the same sentence, if I see two or enough, I'm going to have after them the full infinitive, two plus the base form. Then I have this sentence, it plus verb to be plus the adjective. It is difficult to learn Chinese. It is nice to meet you. It is funny to see this, for example. Okay? So this phrase or this structure, when I see it, after it I'm going to have to plus the verb in the base form. The last thing in the full infinitive is after question words. How, who, why, and what. So I call them WH questions. After them, I'm going to have to plus the verb. Can you tell me how to bake a cake? Can you tell me what to do? Okay, so after those question words, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes you're going to have full infinitives, to plus the verb. Okay, and then the easiest one, which is the bare infinitives. Two situations only. Modal verbs, can, could, and should, and then let and make. So whenever I see can, could, should, or will, or must, those are modal verbs. After them, the verb in the base form only. Also, let and make. She lets her children clean. I make my siblings listen. Okay. So do you have any question, Ola, about this grammar?
No.
No?
No.
Very easy, right? It's a long one, but it's very easy. The more that you practice, the more that you will not forget about this grammar. Okay, so remember these questions, I give it to you in the class, so let's just try to answer them again. So number one, I clean my room. What? My mother.
To help.
Yes, thank you. To help. Number two, why I used to help? Because I'm going to give you the purpose of cleaning my room. Why do I clean my room? To help my mother. Okay, number two, she needs what? She needs her brother about the appointment.
To remind.
Yes, thank you, Shaima. To remind. Do you know the meaning of remind?
تذكير.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Number three, Ahmed should more. Underline the word should. So, exercise, exercises, to exercise, or exercising.
Exercise.
Yes, exercise. Thank you, Tawad. Okay, number four, my mother is happy. You.
To meet.
To meet. Thank you. Number five, the last one, I will let you buy me. Stand, stands, to stand, or standing.
stand.
Yes, stand, without S, without anything. Okay, so it's a very easy number. The next thing is, can you see those words? Also, you need to know how to use them in sentences. Sign up, location, stand for, government, upside down, and crew. Do you know the meaning of government? Also, you will hear this word now more in the news.
حكومة.
Yes. What about signal? Sorry, signal.
إشارة.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so what about crew?
طاقم.
Yes. طيب أولى, do I use crew if I want to describe the people who work in the hospital? الطاقم الطبي. How can I say that? What do you think? How can I say this phrase in English? Do I use crew? What do you think, Ola?
Staff maybe.
Yes, who said that?
أنا أروى.
Thank you, Arwa. Yes, I would say medical staff. STAFF. I don't use crew. Crew usually comes with plane, the people who work in a plane, or the people who work in a ship. Okay, طاقم السفينة أو طاقم الطائرة. Okay, but when I want to describe the people who works in a hospital, I'm going to say medical staff. Okay, just extra information. And then we have prepositional phrases, those phrases in the beginning, in danger, in a hurry, in addition, in the end, common fact, and in my opinion. Also very important phrases that you have to use them in your everyday talking. Then we have the ing form, gerunds. Remember this grammar? Now here, the ing form, is it a noun or a verb? Is it a noun or a verb?
Verb.
Yes, no. No, it's not a verb. It's what? When I say dancing is fun, yes, it's a noun. So in the ing form here, I have 4 situations that any words comes in ing doesn't mean that it's a verb, it's a noun. Okay, how? After certain verbs, love, like, enjoy. I love reading novels. I enjoy playing. I like staying at home, for example. Okay, so after those verbs, you're going to have the gerunds, a word in ing form. After certain expressions, I don't mind staying at home. I cannot stand staying at home. I am interested in anything. For example, I am interested in reading, in playing, in whatever. But it means that after the expressions, you're going to have a word in ing. And then we have after prepositions. Okay, prepositions like about, by. Those are the most common preposition that after them you're going to have the ing form. I am excited about traveling. I am about, no, not about. Any kind of a sentence that I use the preposition after it, sometimes I'm going to have the ing form. Then I have the ing form as the subject of a sentence, like dancing is fun, studying is difficult, any word that comes in ing. Do you have a question?
No, teacher.
Okay, good. Now, let's move on to the next one. A word of advice. Now, there is a very important thing here, Ola, for you, of course. Can you see the words in bold here? Remember when we study them? If you hear the news now, in English, I mean, you will notice that they use those words mostly, like suffer from. Now the word suffer from coronavirus. Now the governments, they try to control coronavirus. Okay, so if you listen now to the news, you're going to hear those words usually. And also there is another word that I'm going to ask you. Do you know the word pandemic? Have you ever heard of the word pandemic? They use it now during this crisis. What is the meaning of corona? Yes?
وباء.
Yes, thank you. Who said that?
شيماء.
Yes, thank you, Shaima. So we have pandemic and we have epidemic. Now, pandemic, it means that when there is a virus, for example, and it becomes what? Worldwide. It's not only in one country, in China, for example. No, it's if it was only in China, but it's in all of China towns. So I will call it epidemic. But when I say pandemic, coronavirus now becomes a pandemic. It means that every country now suffer from this virus. Okay. Okay, and then we have very easy grammar, should and had better. Of course, you know the meaning of should. What about had better? What is the meaning of had better?
من المفترض أن
No, I will say it's not you supposed to do something. You had better stay at home or you will get
had
the virus.
better يعني الأفضل.
Yes, thank you. So it means that whether you do this thing or something bad will happen to you. Okay. Then we have the post on a form. Remember in the class when we took this writing, I told you that you have to write any problem that you're facing, whether it's a medical problem or psychological or social problem. And then you're going to switch your notebooks with your friends, and then you did write an advice to your friend. Remember, Ola?
Yes.
Okay, very good. So the thing is that you're supposed to learn is how to give an advice, as we learned before, and how to ask for advice. So whether your friend needs an advice, you're going to give them, or maybe you're going to ask your friend for advice of any problem that you're facing. Okay? Okay, so I think we're going to stop here. And tomorrow we're going to complete Module 1 revision, and we're going to do Module 2 revision also. Okay. I suppose we're not going to do Module 3 because we already did, but if you have a question, it's okay if you want to ask. And also I will show you the exam that we had on Module 1, and let's try to answer it. Do you have any question, Ola?
No.
Okay, so just let me take the attendance. Okay, thank you, Ola. I really appreciate that you're coming. Though that we're not going to have final exams doesn't mean that okay now we're not going to study. يعني شيء ذكي منك إنك تحضري حصة حتى لو خلاص انتهينا يعني. في النهاية يعني هذه الكتب ليست يعني كتب أولى ليست بعيدة عن كتب ثانية ليست بعيدة عن كتب ثالث. في النهاية كل شيء متصل ببعضه يعني. فكونك تحضرين حصة حتى مع إنه خلاص انتهينا مع الوضع الحالي هذا شيء ذكي منك وشكرا لتقديركم. I will be there every day if you have a question. Even in Ramadan, if you have a question, I will answer any question. Okay?